again, my lovely witches, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Corrigan the Crone, if you haven't been here before. I always forget to say this bit. Welcome. If you have been, welcome back. I make videos about witchcraft and art magic. Okay, so today I have completed my Tarot and Archetypes art grimoire. So this is something that I showed you in a previous works in progress video, and I expected this to be a long-term project and it probably has been about maybe a year since I started it, but I have had a bit of time on my hands recently to work on it and have actually ended up completing it. So let's get started. This is just a really beautiful quote from an interior designer named Dorothy Draper. I firmly believe that nothing contributes so much to the beauty of this world as colour. And as you probably already know, colour is basically my religion. Well, no, witchcraft is my religion, but you know what I'm saying. So this is a book. It's a reclaimed book. It was a book on magic and ancient wisdom. It was very outdated. It had been in my library for a long time, and I never really used it, never really referred to it, and definitely found some of the information in it outdated and potentially also offensive. So I decided to repurpose it for this book, which is predominantly about tarot, but also other archetypes that I have created artwork around. There's not much more that I can say about that. It just is tarot and archetypes. So this is the Queen of Wands, and I chose these cards sometimes through a card pool, just basic as that, and sometimes as things that I wanted to either bring in to my life or embody, sort of archetypes I wanted to embody, behaviors I wanted to try and emulate, or just explorations, you know, of archetypes I was drawn to. And there are a couple of double ups like that. I haven't necessarily said, oh, I've already done the Queen of Wands, for example. Won't create anything more on that because it was created over a period of time. You know, if I'd done this sort of start to finish, it might have been a more organized or specific exploration, but it wasn't. It was definitely done piecemeal, and each archetype was just what I wanted to work with at the time. And like most of my books, I didn't work chronologically necessarily in this book. So this is about finding balance and temperance. This is embodying the Empress. And in some instances, I've used some of the beautiful imagery that was in the book itself, along with, you know, other ephemera and things I've created. This is about the Two of Wands. I felt this really felt like Two of Wands sort of energy. The Ten of Cups. And this is a sigil that I created for creativity and joy and happiness. And I've since made a carved a stamp or 2 stamps for that sigil. But I think this was the first instance that I used it. Ah, there you go, there's the stamp. And this is the Ace of Cups, but it is, this part of the image is, I'd like to say influenced, and I probably mean just straight out copied from La Green Witch. And this is one of La Green Witch's stamps in the middle. There's quite a lot of La Green Witch's stuff throughout this book because, as you know, I'm a fan and I use her stamps and things. But she had in a grimoire of hers this heart image that was surrounded by the skulls, and this is her skull stamp. And I really loved it, and it felt Ace of Cupsy to me. Then we are here working through a journey. This is the Fool card, but just sort of seeing different landscapes and different animals, and because the Fool is obviously on a journey. And I feel like these animated mandrake images are really representative of some of that Fool energy. I just like that. This one is on the moon. Traditional meaning of that card being betrayal and deception. I think it's got a lot more of sort of just the hidden about it. It's a really interesting card because I think as witches we are very attached to the moon. The moon is a big part of most witchcraft practice, and many people worship goddesses of the moon, for example. So to have that card represent deceit and betrayal, as in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith interpretation of the card, can feel a little wrong or inaccurate or just doesn't sit well. And that's certainly how I feel about that moon card. And I interpret it differently, and I interpret it more as a things are hidden from you, that you can't necessarily see everything clearly. Whether they're being hidden from you or whether they are just not clear yet. You can't see the path for the trees or something. That's more where I go with it. That's just how I interpret things. This is the Eight of Cups, about seeking new challenges. This is not a tarot card, but it's a look at the archetype of the cave and the interior. That was something that was really standing out for me at the time that I did that. These pages on the pyramids just made me interested in pyramids more and working with them. And so I actually kept those pages as they are, sort of. Added a bit of decoration, but left that information there for me to refer to again. So this is about death, the Death card, which is, as I think we all know, about transformation and cycles and releasing and ends and beginnings, new beginnings, rather than literal death. This is about the Judgment card. I love this image. I have an ephemera book that has a whole lot of different engravings from the 19th century, and she always, to me, this angel always looks like she's having a dance party. It just has this. I'm listening to some tunes, having a good time, but I'm on my own, and I just really love that. So I've used this image a lot in a lot of different artwork explorations. She just appeals to me. This is the Page of Wands. I also really liked this quote. Expect self-doubt when you are building something new and important for the world. And then we have the Five of Cups. These witches are brewing up a potion. Then we have the archetype of the witch. I spent a couple of pages exploring the archetype of the witch from the perspective of myths, legends, and fairy tales. As you probably already know, growing up, I identified more with the witch in the fairy tales than the heroine or hero or other protagonists. Page of Pentacles, all about potential. High Priestess. Bit of a favourite card of mine. It's one of the first cards I want to look at when I purchase a new deck. Again, these pages on alchemy I wanted to keep here to be able to refer to because they were interesting, and I have a slight alchemy obsession at the moment. The Six of Pentacles on giving and receiving. The Two of Cups. I really love the limited colour palette that I used here. Not something I do very often because I tend to use everything, all the colours, all the things, very maximalist, but I really enjoyed keeping this to a simple colour scheme. The archetype of the unicorn. The Wheel of Fortune. The Devil. It made sense to me to use the page in this book that was about the devil and actually had the Devil tarot card to explore the themes in that card. This was about feeding fears or avoiding fears. It's just all about fear. And this is about nature spirits. This is about dryads specifically. Queen of Wands, again. The Two of Cups. Three of Swords, a card that a lot of people are frightened of in reading, and certainly it's a card that doesn't tend to augur well or bring good news. I did not stab the heart with the Three Swords. Reasons. Not sure I need to go into it actually. But yeah, Three of Swords. This is a little exploration of Mother Mary as an archetype. I think the Catholics really revere Mary almost as a goddess in her own right. Not that they would use that term, but I think the reverence for Mother Mary is huge in the Catholic religion. and I'm sure I've spoken before about the fact that I didn't really have a lot of contact with Catholicism growing up, and the church experiences that I had didn't really put a lot of focus on Mary. But I have been finding a lot of the amazing witches that I follow on Instagram, that are friends of mine, that are YouTubers. Oh, excuse me. Work with Mary as a deity, and I don't know that I necessarily feel super drawn to working with her, but I did want to explore her as an archetype, and I think I will explore her further. But this is my representation of her, not a necessarily traditional representation, but yeah. 9 of Pentacles. Good old Medusa. You know, I am very drawn to the character or archetype of Medusa. I've done a whole book on her and Sacred Rage, or Sacred Feminine Rage, which you can see on my channel. This is looking at the High Priestess again. And then the Page of Swords. And through to the Hermit. And we have the Lovers. The Hanged Man. The King of Pentacles. And you will notice in this book, I don't necessarily take the court cards as the traditional gender. I don't have a problem with them being called king, queen, page, knight, etc. But I don't necessarily interpret them in my art as a particular gender, male for king or female for queen. I will often just use female imagery, full stop, because it feels more accessible to me as a woman. And sometimes I will choose to use an image of a male presenting person for a traditionally female archetype. I think we all have the potential to have these archetypes in ourselves, regardless of gender. And, you know, gender is a construct. It's almost not real. Anyway. Queen of Cups. Cups are a theme for me this year, with my word of the year being flow. I feel it's a very water element, cups, emotional sort of word that I'm embodying this year. This is the archetype of the guru. And this is Strength, the Strength card in the tarot. The King of Cups. The Sun card. I came across this image in a magazine and it to me just felt so much like the Sun card in the tarot. And that was actually why I ended up creating this page, because I don't always find I resonate well with the Sun card in a lot of tarot decks. I don't know why. I actually don't know, because it's a really lovely, positive, happy card. And I love imagery of the sun. So I'm not sure why that card doesn't vibe as much with me. But anyway, that's okay. This is the Hierophant. And this is the Ace of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. The Emperor. The Six of Pentacles. The Page of Cups. The Knight of Wands. Three of Wands. The Chariot. The Magician. Justice. The Knight of Cups. The Nine of Swords. And that's the end. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this rather mammoth exploration of tarot archetypes. It's definitely something that has deepened my tarot practice, deepened my understanding of the tarot, and definitely something that I want to continue to explore. I've previous to this, I dabbled a little bit here and there with cards and representations through art, but this book really expanded on that, and it was nice to delve a bit more deeply. So I hope this has inspired you to maybe look at tarot through the lens of your own artwork, or archetypes through your own lens. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. If it inspires you to do something, let me know. I always love to hear what you guys are up to. And I will see you in my next video. Much love, my darlings. Bye.